Lundy Hollenbach, and welcome back to Women Taking on Sports, where we talk all things female athletes, from athletes, coaches, to even women working in the industry. And today we are joined by Dorota Zalewska, a UTC golf superstar. And actually, I should have asked you how to pronounce your name beforehand, so I hope I did not butcher that. How do you pronounce your name exactly?
Dorota Zalewska.
Okay, so I was close. It's not
Yes.
too bad.
No.
Good.
Heard it once.
I'm sure you've heard it all. Well, I understand that you won the NCAA Raleigh Regional last week, and you actually ended that event setting a record for UTC. How did that feel?
I mean, it's crazy that I could do that. It feels just, I would say, normal. Like I haven't, thought about it too much because I was preparing for nationals. But for sure, it's a great finish, especially for me, being done with college. So it was great to see that everything just came up together and I could score well.
Yes, I can only imagine. Well, how did it feel competing for such high stakes?
Well, it wasn't, well, it was, I would say I was very relaxed because last year, when we played regionals at Vanderbilt, I was pretty close to qualify for nationals. So I kind of knew what to expect. I knew where my game needs to be. So my plan was just to go out there and basically win because there was only one spot, not like last year there were two spots. So I knew I need to basically, be on top of the leaderboard after the 3 days. So overall, it was great. And it was great to play against top players in the world because our regionals they had pretty strong field. So yeah, I mean, it was just regular tournament.
Well, you have qualified for the NCAA twice, SoCon Golfer of the Week 5 times, SoCon Student Athlete of the Week 3 times, not to mention SoCon Golfer of the Month twice. And those are just a few of your accomplishments. So how does it feel to accomplish so much at such a young age?
Well, I wouldn't say such a young age. I do have some, few years on my back, but I wish I could start achieving those things straight away through my freshman year, because it would kind of put me in a better perspective. But I'm very grateful that I could achieve those things, and it's just one shot at a time, basically. So I didn't even think of all those achievements. I just wanted to, perform as well as I can and basically beat the records because that was mostly my motivation. And as well, being the top player in the world. But yeah, I mean, it feels great.
Yes, you do have a lot to be proud of. Once again, we are talking to Dorota Zalewska, golfer and recent graduate from UTC, here on Women Taking on Sports. And this week, for the third time, as I mentioned, you were named the SoCon Student Athlete of the Week. So what does it mean to you to be a student athlete?
It means a lot. From having opportunity to have great education experience, which I could finish, exercise science major and then 2 minors in business and nutrition. So it's incredible that UTC gave me that opportunity to finish school. And as well, from athletic point of view, it's just that I could practice. I literally had everything that I needed to. I had people who were supporting me, basically my team, from, coach, assistant coach, Chip, Brenda, our physio, So everyone was there to support me, and I was there to perform and show them that what they're doing is helping, and hopefully I will be the number one in the world in the future, which is now my goal. So it's going to be hard work, but it means a lot to be a student athlete.
Well, I also noticed that you were on the dean's list as well as the honor roll. So how do you balance golf and your academics?
Well, it's not an easy task. Basically, it's all about being very consistent with your work and as well with your schedule. So for me, it was always having basically a notebook where I would plan my whole day, which I do to this day. From, in the morning having a workouts and having a time for breakfast, then having practice, having all the things that I needed to do, and then of course then to relax. But it's just all about being consistent and having a perfect schedule.
I'm sure it is so challenging. I could only imagine. But at least you're doing well and you're excelling in your academics. So you're doing something right. So you're a fifth-year player from Poland who advanced to the national title event by winning an NCAA regional. And I'm curious, was competing in golf at such a high level your goal from the very beginning when you started playing golf?
Yes. Well, at the beginning, I didn't know what I can achieve because it kind of started, being a junior player, playing against your friends. And so it was not like, I had that thought in my mind, but I had the goal of being the best player in Poland. And then it kind of transformed to, trying to be the best one in Europe, which to this day, I haven't achieved that, but it is a goal. And then going to college, finishing college. And so on every stage I do have some goal. So yeah, I mean, right now it's just trying to be the number one.
Well, your best scoring performance was your win at Raleigh Regionals. And what did you have to do to have such a good performance?
Well, it all consisted of really really focused practices, which they started around 10 days, 11 days before regionals. So I would go in the morning to our facility. I would be there for around from 4.5 to 6, 7 hours. And then having a lunch and then going to play 18 holes or 9. And kind of knowing what part of the game I need to be focused more on. However, it was basically everything. So everything needed to be on point. But they were very long days. But I think this is what you need to do if you want to be the best one. So I enjoyed the process, prepared myself well. And then, of course, when we got into regional or on the golf course, we had practice runs, did all the plan for how to play the holes. And then we just executed. And with help of coach, reading putts really well. I just went and I was hitting shots. I didn't think of anything. Just tried to score well.
Yeah, so you started to talk about your practicing, and that was one of my biggest questions. So how much do you have to practice?
Well, it depends on time of the year, but usually it's from 3 hours to even 7, 8 hours.
Wow. In a day? Per day.
Yes.
Wow. That's like a job itself.
Yes, it is. And I treat it as a job. Like, this is my job. I'm not paid for it yet.
Yet.
But yes, exactly. But it is a job. So yeah, of course, when I practice for 8-9 hours, I do have a breaks for food and lunch. So the overall practice will probably take around 6 hours in total, but it's in full focus and with the purpose and the goal.
Yeah. So what do you have to do mentally to prepare for a big match?
For me, it's more of being confident with all my parts of the game. So it starts from checking all the basics, because basics needs to be on point to then go and have better shots, better results as well. Yeah, well, being confident, and then as well kind of knowing what I need to do, knowing my plan, and then just being relaxed and basically being like a Dory from the Finding Nemo movie. So yeah, basically accepting the mistakes, forgetting about them, moving on, and trying to score well.
That's all you can do. So, do you have any pre-match rituals that you do before each match?
Yes, I do. I actually have quite some, because I feel like golf is about practicing, but it's also all about luck. So if I can keep some things the same every time, then I know I'm not switching the routine. But I do have a marker and pitchfork that I always play with. Actually, I think now it's like 10th year of having them with me on every single round, every single practice.
Wow.
It kind of starts with simple thing of when I put my shoes on, I always start with the right shoe and then the left shoe, and then having the same warm up, starting with putting, going to chipping or driving range, and then finishing with some putting. Keeping my gloves fresh.
The list goes on.
Yes, the list goes on.
Well, it seems to be working for you, so keep it up. Once again, we are talking to Dorota Zalewska, golfer and recent graduate from UTC, here on Women Taking on Sports. And let's switch gears a little bit. I understand in 2020, the pandemic forced you to move back home to Poland. And were you debating hanging up your golfing clubs for good?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was not the best year for me before the COVID, and of course during the COVID. But it was, if I think about it, COVID saved me. In a way, I didn't touch my clubs for at least, like month and a half, 2 months, basically. I just restarted everything. Started enjoying golf again because I was playing with my friends for fun. Having my basically head somewhere else than golf, which was great. And yeah, kind of struggle. Well, I wouldn't say depression, because it was maybe not. Well, maybe it was a small depression, but I wouldn't consider it like that. But it was just a sad few years.
It was a tough time for everybody when you think about it. So in a way, you came home refreshed and recharged, and you were ready to pick up the clubs again. Isn't that correct?
Yes, basically, yes.
Well, congratulations on graduating this month with your degree in exercise science. What do you think is next for you?
So for now, I'm staying in States for a year. We'll be working and preparing for a professional career, which I'm thinking of turning pro in a year. But first, I want to be top 50 in the world as amateur to give me a bit more opportunities. In a way, it's better to be very top amateur player than being just a professional golfer. So yes, the next goal is, preparing myself for professional golf, then turning pro, and then starting with small goals going forward to LPGA.
Okay, seems like you've got it all mapped out. I think it could work out for you. So I'm curious, do you feel a sense of pride playing your sport?
Um, yes, I do. It, it's 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 not. I feel like it's the hardest sport that you can play. So me achieving something, because it's not that I'm, the best one in the world. I can't compare. I can't call myself the best one in the world. I achieve some things, but I know there are people who achieve more than me. Um, I do feel grateful. I'm grateful for everyone here in UTC that they gave me the opportunity to play for them, and to literally think of me turning pro and me being the best one in the world.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, on the record, I am horrible at golf. So it is so challenging for the average person. So you really do have a lot to be proud of. But that also leads into my next question. What has been the biggest obstacle that you have faced playing golf?
Well, there are so many. It's not just one. I wish there was just one. But I think it's kind of like going from stage to stage to stage. So it means finishing the junior career, being a decent golfer, to then trying to find that thing that allowed me to play the level of golf that I'm playing right now and that I played last year. And it was more about mental game and getting all together to score well, because you can have a great swing, you can have a great technique, you can have, all the knowledge in the world, but you're not going to score. But we need to score, and we need to score low. So that was the thing of kind of getting those mistakes, I wouldn't say out, but accepting them and having them small, and then knowing how to basically save them and where to play to, gain shots. So that was the biggest obstacle, and the one that I'm struggling with right now, and I think everyone is struggling with.
Yes. Well, what would you say has been your biggest reward playing golf?
Traveling the world. I've been on national team for at least 8 years now. I've been in places that not a lot of people been to. So traveling the world, meeting a lot of people, playing against the best ones. And even right now, grateful that I can talk to you and that I can have, people who are basically wants to help me, wants to cheer me up. They want to hear my story. So yeah, this is what I love, and that's why I love doing it.
Yes, I could see it being so rewarding for you. That's wonderful. Well, one of the last questions that I have for you is if there was a young girl who was thinking about playing golf and getting started in golf, what would you tell her?
Just one step at a time, having small goals, but also having that big one, the one main one that you want to have, and never give up, because it's sport. The lows are low, highs are high, but never give up, and just try to be the best one, the best version of yourself every day.
Perfectly put. Well, with that being said, what would you tell your younger self? What was some little message that if you could tell yourself just a little encouraging message, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, what would you tell your younger self?
Probably Well, I would give two messages. First one, to kind of stay humble a bit more. And last one, never doubt yourself.
Perfectly put. Wish you could just write it down and just save it for a later date. But honestly, it has been such a pleasure talking to you, Dory. And I appreciate you stopping by and letting us know a little bit about yourself and your journey as a golfer. I'm Lindy Hollenbach, and she's Dorota Zalewska. And this has been another episode of Women Taking on Sports here on ESPN Chattanooga 95.3.